showing you some basic guidelines to install our TeenSafe passenger brake. There's no assembly required. We have the instructor brake, which goes on the passenger side. We have the swivel assembly, which goes on the driver's side. The cable connects the two together. This is a 2-bolt installation, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. So let's get started. Okay, we're going to be starting on the driver's side right now. And what we're going to do is we're going to place the swivel assembly in underneath the brake pedal and fish the guide bar through the center console over to the passenger side. Now you may have some panels or carpeting that you can pop off or pull down. Sometimes you can just make a little cut in the carpet and slide the guide bar through. So I've already pulled the panel off of this vehicle. I'm going to fish this guide bar through to the other side. Okay, so now that you've fished the guide bar through to the passenger side, just mold with your hand the flexible housing and position the swivel assembly close to where you might be running the cable through on the brake pad. Just need a general spot for it. The flex housing has memory, so it's not going to go anywhere. And the best place to go across in your vehicle, or any vehicle, is straight across under the gas pedal, up, and across the console at the lowest point. Okay, now that we're on the passenger side, the objective is to get the 9-inch bar to drop into the passenger compartment. If it does not drop into the passenger compartment and it's sticking straight out, you can unscrew the bar and add one of our 3-inch extensions, which will then allow it to drop in. In some cases, you may need 2 extensions. We usually will send that along with the instructor brake if you tell us what type of vehicle you have. Next, you're going to take the tripod, which is the brake pedal, and the flat mounting bar. Slide that in. Slide the nose onto the bar and set the brake basically in place. We're now back on the driver's side. We're going to remove the rubber cover. And we're going to drill a hole. And for the purposes of this installation, I'm going to pick the lower right hand. Okay, now that we've drilled a hole in the lower right hand corner of the brake pad with a 9/16 inch drill bit, we're going to use a straight rod. You can use a coat hanger or any straight rod. You're going to run it through the hole and into the back of the pulley. Press the pedal a few times, it gives you a good alignment. Make sure that it's straight in as you can see. And then you're going to want to mark, either with a piece of chalk or a magic marker. You're going to outline the base of the swivel assembly. Okay, now that we've drilled our hole, we're going to fish the cable through. Down to the ball stop. Now the ball stop may create a small lump in the pedal, which some driver instructors don't care for, and it'll wear the pad. So you can countersink that hole with a countersinking tool to drop the ball in further, or you can reverse the rubber pad and put a small hole in it so the ball seats into that. Okay, now you're attached to the brake pedal. The next thing you're going to do is feed the cable into the back of the pulley. You might have to twist a little bit to get it started, and you're going to feed it through. Again, twisting a little bit. And you feed it through, which all the way to the passenger side. So now the cable's in, and we're going to move to the passenger side. Okay, we're back on the passenger side now. The cable should have come all the way through the back of the tripod. And now you're going to take the cable and feed it through the back of the pulley, behind the spring. And we have the lock block here. The lock block has a couple grooves in it. Just put it into the first groove on the top and just finger tighten so so the cable is in place. The groove is designed so as when we tighten this down to adjust the height of the pedal, not to crush the cable. Okay, now we're back to the driver's side, and we're going to mount the swivel pulley assembly to the floor. Make sure that you take your swivel pulley assembly, put it back on your chalk line, and then make sure that the flexible housing is tucked in enough that you have clearance for your gas pedal, no obstructions. You're then going to take a 5/16 inch drill bit, and you're going to drill into the floor through to the bottom of the vehicle. Now, before you drill, you want to check underneath the vehicle for any electrical or hydraulic or fuel lines. If there are, and they're too close for comfort, you can take a flat metal plate, go under the car, put it between the fuel lines or hydraulic lines and the bottom of the floorboard, and then drill through until you hit that plate. Remove the plate, now you have your hole through to the bottom of the vehicle. You drop your bolt through with a fiber nut, tighten it down, and now your swivel pulley assembly is mounted on the driver's side, and you're done on the driver's side. Okay, we're now back on the passenger side. We're now going to adjust the brake pedal in such a position that we're going to drill our next hole. Now keep in mind, I'm going to mention this again, you only need one bolt on the driver's side and one bolt on the passenger side. Use this upper hole on the flat bar. It's the ideal position. It works great. Adjust your tripod over to the right as far as possible, depressing the pedal so the back of the pulley does not hit the wall when depressed. You can move this tripod back and forth on the 9-inch adjustment bar. If you want to go farther left or right, you can go within an inch of the tip of that guide bar. Ideally, for most drivers, position to the right where they can have their heel on the floor, foot on the footrest, and transfer to the brake like this is the ideal position. Okay, we're now going to mount the flat bar to the floorboard, again using one bolt with a 5/16 inch drill bit. Keep in mind, when drilling through some of these floorboards, depending on the vehicles, they're making them a little bit tougher to drill through. So we always recommend a cobalt or a titanium drill bit, preferably cobalt. And if that gives you some problems penetrating, start with a smaller drill bit and drill a pilot hole first. Then proceed to drill with your larger drill bit through the floorboard. Again, make sure underneath the vehicle there's no fuel lines or electrical lines. Make sure that you don't run your drills through anything. Just crawling under the car on this side is much easier to see than the driver's side. And then proceed drilling your hole through. You'll drop your bolt through, nut on the bottom, tighten it down, and your flat bar is now mounted to the floor. Do not over tighten this bar. Tighten it down till you're very snug. Over tighten it may snap that bar. You do not need to over tighten this bar. Okay, now that we're secured to the floor with the flat mounting bar, you're going to tighten the 2 set screws. You can still move the tripod up and down on that adjustment bar to get a better position if you like. Find a good spot. Take your set screw. And this one right here you want to tighten. You want to make it nice and snug. Make sure it doesn't move. The other set screw, which tightens this upper adjustment bar, and tighten. You don't need to over tighten it, it will crush that bar. So basically your brake is installed, and now we're going to adjust the cable. Okay, we're now going to adjust the cable and the pedal height. This is pretty simple. Take your locking pin, drop it through the brake pedal to lock it out. Take the cable, pull it with your left hand, two 1/2-inch box wrenches,
Really easy kabisa.
Incidentally, the remaining cable, do not cut this simply tuck it back. Use a tie wrap to secure it. If you cut it and you go to move the brake from one car to another,
Yeah.
the cable will not
Si vizuri
fish through the
kukata
pulley
kabisa.
system again if it's cut and frayed. So do not cut it. Tie wrap. Take your locking pin back out. Your brake pedal is ready to go. Now, you can adjust the height if you like and drop it down lower or higher. The locking pin usually sets the brake pedal height at about the perfect height. Next, we're going to test the brake out. Okay, we're now in the vehicle and we're going to test the brake system. Start the car. Have one of your guys in the driver's seat and have somebody in the passenger seat. Once you have your floor mats back in, should be the look you have. The instructor should be able to put their foot on the footrest, transfer to the brake pedal. That's the design. Now we're going to test the sensitivity of the brake pedal. The driver is going to depress the brake pedal. I'm going to shift it into drive. The driver is going to release the brake pedal, and I'm going to stop the car with 2 fingers. And that's how sensitive it should be. Okay, the installation is complete. The car is ready to drive. If there are any questions regarding this installation, please call us 800-773-4104 or 800-450-9022. We're always available for technical support. Thank you.